right. A question for the boys. 3 years ago, I was given access to my stocks that were previously under a custodian account. Since then, I have spent $375,000 in 3 years.
I know where 300,000 went to.
I only have 150,000 left, right? So he started with almost 500 grand.
Jesus.
Or over 500 grand. Anyway, this was supposed to be for my retirement. I have told no one else about how I have spent. My grandmother and parents think I have actually made better investments with them and earned money instead of blowing it. I read that correctly. He didn't write it well. Before you ask, I spent it on nonsense. Rent, a new car, a trip to Europe, etc. How do I possibly explain this to my family? My parents asked me for money a few times, but I told them I needed it for retirement, even though I was just buying random things. So he had over 500 grand. He spent almost 400 grand.
Why was the stocks in a custodian account?
And why were the parents turned 18 or 21 or
right? But I'm saying, so somebody had to put them in the account. Usually that's traditionally the parents, right? So the parents are now asking him for money, right? A couple times, or did ask him for money a couple times.
I'm filling in some gaps here, but my guess is that the grandparents gave some money to the grandkids.
Got it.
And mom and dad are like, "Hey, can I have some of that money?" And he's like, "I need it for retirement." But really, he's just blowing it on hookers and cars.
Yeah,
that's right.
How old is he again?
He didn't say, but since 3 years ago he got access to his account,
21.
He might be 21 or 24
All right, so
now.
you're probably very young with like $175,000 left. Is that about right?
Sounds great, dude. You're off to a good start.
Yeah, you're in a great place.
Yeah.
All right. So look, things could be going way worse. None of us here started out at 18 with $175,000. Okay, that would have been such a wonderful thing to like not worry about anything for the time in your life where you've got to like learn it and get your stuff together and make like connections with people. You're fine. You're okay. You did a big whoopsie by throwing away $350,000. But the key here is to turn that into a lesson and to make $350,000 a very cheap price to pay for that lesson by applying what you've learned here to the rest of your life. You're so young that this is a good thing, not a bad thing. As far as your parents go, we're going to lie to them. You tied that money up in long-term investments. If you have to lie and make it seem that, I thought CDs were the thing. Everyone always said, I put it in a 20, they're in a 10-year
Put it in a 60-year CD.
No, tell them you threw it into a SEP IRA and you literally can't touch that till you're 60. Sorry. And ta-da. Here's a problem.
Get them off your back about that because A, that's your money. B, it's none of their business how you spend your money. C, you're a decent enough, smart enough guy to know. Now, you want to make sure you're a $50 patron, first of all, because that's going to allow you access to the Discord where you can just private message me about like where you want to go from here.
Yeah,
that's
for a reasonable price.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I charge per hour, but you can afford it, man. Look, you're young, you got $150,000.
Yeah, don't be stingy now.
If you give me $50 a month, I will explain to you how a fool and his money are easily parted.
If you give me, look, I'll say this: until that custodian released that money, you had $500,000. How about a new custodian? How about I hang on to this $150,000 and I see what I can do with it for a while? And you come and we touch base again in a year or two, and we
won't do worse.
I did this with my RuneScape account. He was supposed to boost my archery level. Never got that account back, so I'm a little worried.
just got taken for a ride on RuneScape.
I will never forget that.
How old were you?
6th grade, and gave it to a 7th grader, and he was like, "Dude, forgot the password after I changed it." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." Valuable lesson. Yeah.
Another life lesson learned. So you and this guy, similar boats.
Yeah. I lost a RuneScape account. He lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but
I'm on a much different track than Kyle was. Like, I had a manager at Cisco tell me decades ago, probably, bad news doesn't get better with age. And there's a temptation, like when your project's behind schedule and stuff, to be like, "Oh, everything's going fine." And in your heart, you're like panicking and you're hoping you can catch up in the next 2 weeks before it like goes live or is due or whatever. That's not the move. The move is open and honest communication all the way through.
Why?
Because everyone would rather know you're behind schedule with
it's not their business.
It's not.
Well, in this case, it's the manager, right? You're you're running behind schedule. Bad news doesn't get better with age. But I found that to be true all over the place. Like if I'm a kid and I've got something to admit to my parents, you don't just
but he
sit
doesn't
on that until due date. Well,
but
the thing
it's
is,
his money. Fuck
I disagree. Well, I hear you, but I think if he was honest, if he was like, you know what, I've learned, but I had 3 pretty stupid years.
Hey, mom and dad, I'm not very good with money. Just thought you should know. Oh, good to know, son. We'll be very careful around you from now on. And
we'll stop asking him for money.
Your father's business associates wanted to work with you, but now that we know this, I don't feel comfortable telling them lies.
So now here's the deal. The situation you'd be putting him in is just lying for years and years and years.
One lie.
Lie that, but
the
told
money's tied
again
up,
and again and
it's
again.
my money, and frankly, I don't feel comfortable ever discussing that money again. It'll come between us and our love.
Perfect.
That money is locked away from my retirement. I won't even be thinking about it until I'm in my late 50s. So please, mommy and daddy, don't ask me for money.
That's how I would handle that as well.
I agree.
There's no reason for me to let mommy and daddy know, or I've even made up for it to myself.
But I'm pretty sure. Tucker, please go.
I'm just because I think that you are looking at it how I would deal with it if it was my parents and this was this situation, because we have a different relationship, and I may just be reading between the lines and completely wrong on this, but it just seems due to the way this was set up that the parents were not in the know of pretty much any of this, and that's like none of their business. As long as he doesn't even have to lie, like what Kyle said, he can just be like, okay, well, that money is for my retirement and it's tied up. No, I'm not comfortable loaning it to you, and I'm uncomfortable discussing like finances with you because I think it would damage our long-term relationship. I think that that's an adult conversation to have that doesn't deflect from him understanding his mistakes, but also keeps the parents where they were 3 years ago, which is
I also premature ejaculated last week, Mom. Just thought you should know all my failings.
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like the alternative to coming clean is to just carry on this lie about, I've been making great investments. I've turned that 500.
He did say that. You're right.
Now,
if he said that, if he's talking about that, I forgot about that part. You're right.
He should telling him that he's been making great investments, right? For all they know, he turned this $500,000 into $1 million by now, and he really has $100,000. And like, you're just gonna carry that on. You're just gonna go into
that's different
30s into your 40s, and now it's $7 million. Meanwhile, it's like 200,000. Like, dude, just fucking come clean one time instead of maintaining this lie until your parents die.
No, better lie then. Okay. So if we have to,
they're on your trail. You go, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. Boom, different discussion.
If it comes to it, fuck your dad.
You pull the Kevin Spacey maneuver. You go.
I don't think you had to fuck your dad to prove you were gay.
No, they weren't buying it, Taylor.
Yeah, I'll tell you this now. Those two in therapy, they're not talking about finances. Like, look at me, the master.
All right. So if you have, in the scenario, if the case is that you have been bragging about winnings when you have tremendous losses, not the losses, just you threw the money away, you spent the money, then they might be like wondering why you're hoarding millions of dollars or something like that. But I still say this money should be spent frugally to support you while you get your education or start your business or whatever you want your life to be. You should spend some time and maybe talk to someone who's smarter than you about like how to apply that money and make that money like do a thing for you. Because I'm just saying, if you could get your education without working a side job, that would be great. And here's the thing. If you maintain the lie, there's no way you can get your education and ask your mom and dad for money now, right? So if you're going to come clean, you need to come clean and say, you know, have you read about crypto, Mom and Dad? No. Well, I really took a bath in the crypto market and I'm down to a third of my money left. I'm sorry. I was up to, you do the math.
This is a good lie. I like this lie. I think this one's the best.
You got documentation.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
look, here's where I started losing money, Mom. 7,187,000, but I'm out and I'm ready to start fresh. I like this one. It's up to you whether you're morally correct or you want to take the easy route. I'm not an angel or a devil. I'm just explaining your options.
But if you want your parents to respect you, and look, And here's the thing:
His parents
And
are
you're
asking
not
him for money. They're going to.
You're not worthy
bad
of
finances.
telling this lie and reaping its benefits if you haven't learned from your mistake.
That is true.
That's the only case when what I'm saying works. You're not worthy of telling the lie unless you have learned your lesson, because what the lie is doing, it's preventing them from not believing that you've learned your lesson and holding back. And like it's keeping them from 3 years from now when you're like, Mom and Dad, I want this business. Look at this. I'm putting my 150. If you jump in with your 25 for just the building permits, I can go. You know what they're going to say? I remember when you spent all your money on trips and women. They're going to be down for it if you do it that way. You got to learn from your mistake, though. You threw a lot of money away.
I would just tell the truth. It's easy. I would say, listen, Mom and Dad. By the way, keep in mind, Mom and Dad are asking their children for money. Just be like, I'm not very good with finances.
I think he cares more about grandma.
I think it's a genetic condition.
What?
I tend to spend money I don't have. I learned from the best, Mom and Dad.
I'm a shopaholic.
Well, maybe it's not even that. Maybe Mom and Dad think
shaking.
the kid,
You haven't bought anything.
Maybe Mom and Dad see the kid living a certain lifestyle while saying his money is invested and think that, like, Jesus, you're making that off of like your interest or your dividends or whatever. Like, how much are you worth, son? If they're in that sort of mindset, we got to get them out of there. Because look, here's the thing. For all you know, here's what parents will do a lot when their kid is like that guy who's making millions or whatever. They'll throw themselves into irreversible debt, knowing they'll get the bailout from their kid. They won't ask you for the money because you wouldn't give it for them. You'd never give them $800,000. But if they drive up $800,000 worth of debt and say, son, I'm losing the house and all the cars unless you pay this off, you're going to do it.
That'd be a real piece of shit.
Tell the truth
Wow,
one
that
time.
is-
Don't maintain a lie for the rest of your life to your parents. It sucks.
Yeah, I see. I mean, man, that extra layer of having
Tell them when you make up for it. Tell
Makes
them
it
the
more
truth when you
difficult.
I
make
didn't
up
even
for
think
it.
that I didn't even put into perspective if you are going to Europe and you bought a new car and you're living this nice life and your mom's like, or your grandma's like, where's the money coming from? And you're like, I'm making so much money on my investments. I did this. You're dumb as shit. But I still maintain it's not up to the parents to know any of that. It's your grandma or whoever gave you the stocks in the first place that you need to come clean with.
I assume
Don't
they
let
were
grandma
dead.
die without coming clean. You're going to hate that.
Dude, you do not tell your look,
Tell her on her deathbed.
people are still
It's a happy median.
Right, grandma.
Right as she's fading out, you add a little tag to the end of her life.
Yoinks her back in.
Wait till
Well,
she's
hang on.
asleep.
I mean, look, if your grandma is the
something.
one if she's still alive, this
Loaded
grandma
on
who's
morphine.
giving
Yeah,
you
it
all
says
this
my
money,
grandma
Grandmother's.
and parents.
You read the chat.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just listening to you.
Just
You
last
should go
paragraph.
back. Shit. Go to your grandma and tell her you lost all the money because it was stolen from you, and cry a lot.
No.
And tell her, look, I'm so ashamed. Here, you gotta get the best part. No. Tell her your mom and dad have bled you dry because they're ashamed to ask grandma for money, and you need grandma to like.
Listen,
Now
Mom and
we're-
Dad
now
are going to
we're
lie
on the
about
money.
this. Mom and Dad are not going to admit that I gave all this money to them.
Oh my God.
If you can start
you need to
infighting-
carve your parents out of your life,
Pal,
wait
you
for
muted.
grandma to die and reap the inheritance direct from the tap. You got to get them out of the way. Suckle the inheritance.
Get the fuck out of
Oh
there.
my God. That's
Man,
so
this is a
fucked.
tough. I'm having trouble even imagining spending that much money. That, like, he said cars,
He's
right?
spending about 10 grand a month.
That's
blowing.
th-
That's a
that's
lot.
a lot
cash.
of money to blow.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell them your father took all your money and for a Korean penis implant, and that he's tell grandma about it. And if she doesn't come up with $350, you're gonna kill yourself.
yeah, they're gonna take the implant back
Let's
in the dick
circle
with
back. If Dad doesn't jump on the lie, fuck him.
Yeah.
You go to your parents and you guys team up to tag team and feed grandma dry. It's the only way. it's
You're
a
weak,
familial
old
fit.
man. I'm gonna do whatever I want with you. This ends when I decide it ends.
But to sum up my advice, dude, you don't want to carry on.
100% honesty from Woody.
Yeah, it just
I say
because you're gonna
75.
the lie is only going to get bigger and worse. It's going to grow. It's going to be this tangled web that you've woven. It
Straight line, not a web. Straight line. I told you the lie. Woody's point is 100% honesty, and you feel clean, and it's all on the table. Jericho agrees with me, at least a 75% of a lie, admitting your faults, but maybe not admitting that you were foolish and awful with the money. Because I'm going to tell you, like, if a friend of mine, a family member told me that they had blown their inheritance, I get that that's your money, but like, hey, what the fuck? Like now I'm more likely to need to help you down the road when that was secure. You were no longer my potential dependent, and now you're a potential dependent again because you were frivolous with your money. Like, I mean, like,
I think
I vote for 75% dishonesty. Up to and including 100% dishonesty.
No, Kyle, the way you said it, you suggested it almost like 75% on, or I guess depends on your definition of honest. They're like, definitely go in, and the fact he was bragging about it, that makes it way fucking harder to get out of this. I do think he needs to be honest about the loss of money, but Kyle's on the money with, don't say that you were going on European vacations and hookers, and they already know you did those things, but don't make it quite so obvious that was the bulk of it. You know, maybe
you're a bad person. That's the point. The problem here, dude, is you're kind of a bad person for what you did. You did some bad person shit. I'm not saying around. I'm not saying that. All right. I'm not
saying you're a bad person. You literally just said you're.
I want to rephrase it though. I thought
these are the fans that pay us.
So it's not that you are a bad person, but you did the sort of thing that bad people do. And so somebody from the outside looking in who doesn't know you're a patron, who doesn't know you're a cool cat, they might think, "Holy shit, that's a bad guy." So
don't know the truth.
What I'm saying is, don't let your parents know you did a bad guy thing. Lie and say you lost your ass in crypto. And then they're still in the same shape where they know where the finances stand. They know that you technically lost the money, but they don't know how foolish and bad guy-ish you were. They don't need to know that. Like it's just like, look, every time I shit my pants, I don't fucking call my mom and tell her. She doesn't need to know how bad I am in life.
Yeah, right? I'd appreciate it if you stopped telling me.
Actually,
dude, I show you the stains. They're impressive.
it's the beginning of March.
Butterfly.
Please become a $50 patron so at the end of March, I can meet this foolish person and he can tell us the stories of the dumb shit he did with his money.
Dude, y'all need to
I bet there's some good stories. I
want to hear $375,000 worth of bad financial decisions.
I'd love to
that
see
is
the
a
receipt.
whole nice.
He's got a xylophone.
Right, he could have had a house. And instead he has a car and some trips and hookers, and he just channeled his inner Hunter Biden for a couple of years, and now the money's gone.
You don't have Ukraine money, okay? The big guy isn't the president. You know?
Dude, thinking about, like, just empathizing and putting myself in this gentleman's scenario gives me like stress of being like, oh my God, $350,000 I spent.
Wait,
well, that I would be so. I honestly, I would have felt bathrooms. So guilty. Yeah, that's 3.5 bathrooms. If you're Woody,
4 bathrooms.
That is, I could buy another house of similar quality.
Multiple tubs, Woody.
You know what I think really puts it? I think it really puts it into perspective when you understand that it's not $375,000 of income; it's $375,000 of savings. So just so you understand the magnitude of how much you fucked up, if you tried and saved like 15% of your income, which is above what most people are ever going to be, like 10% is like really is pretty good. I think 10% for the average
is what you should be targeting.
Okay, anyway. Whatever. You target that. Brother, if you make 6 figures a year to save up for that, that's going to take you like 20 years of work. You fucked up 20 years of work worth.
Yeah.
That's 20 years of normal person work. But you're going to be an overachiever because you fucked up so badly right here. Yeah. And you were a patron, and we set you straight.
If he was spending it on drugs, easy. Like if he's spending it on drugs, which who knows, maybe on his European vacations, like there's no way this guy was dabbling in like weed. Like that, if he was doing drugs, he was doing the real drugs. Addiction. Yeah,
I spend hundreds a month.
Oh, I spend
$200 a month on this weed.
Have you heard about Wings and Boogie potentially boxing?
Oh my God!
Yeah, that could be the only boxing match with 2 casualties.
Are they going to stand for it?
I wish we could watch the. So Boogie called him out. I wish we could watch that video. Boogie's like hitting a heavy bag.
I am the cream.
He's shirtless and has a big mustache. And,
like what is their
something
beef?
Else.
They don't have a beef, but basically what Boogie said was, I want to make some money and you're a fat fuck too.
Yeah.
So let's rumble, big boy.
Respect.
Yeah.
Go for it. I mean, Wings would never agree to it, and I don't.
I heard
honestly,
Wings is 90% there. No, they told me Wings
Boogie
is
can actually
90% through with like signing the contract. And what I told y'all is like there is no way, and I think Woody co-signed. There's no way, even if Wings signs that contract, that he follows through. Because I also heard that this fight was potentially overseas, as in like in the UK or something, or
no like a
fucking
Misfits
way.
Boxing kind of thing.
No fucking way.
It is nuts to me that content creators have decided to hit the cyclical, like, you know, we're going to boxing, baby. Like that's where it is now. Everybody's boxing, apparently. You know, it's just I never saw it coming.
So Wings and Boogie. Oh, go ahead.
I went to a thing called Billionaires Bash, maybe. But Tucker, were you there also?
No, but I remember that.
Wings? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I went there with Wings, and he felt, this is a while ago, so maybe he's different now. He was so uncomfortable being away from home. He was dreading the flight back home. He was really just unhappy existing in California, so far from his home base. The idea that he would go to Saudi Arabia or something and fight there.
No way. No way.
It's way outside the comfort zone of the Wings that I know.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like he gets homesick super easy. Like he was kind of weird at my place. Oh, my cousin's weird like that too. Right? Like maybe I just take for granted that I've never been like that, and I love like traveling and like if I'm not at home. Look, I'll say this: when you finally get home and take a shit in your own toilet, it's like,
oh, that's wonderful.
Still haven't gotten to do that yet. You know, I'm looking forward to the shower.
Thing.
You can do it.
Shit and
but
shower.
There's no way Wings will do it. There's no way Wings will do it. And if he did, he'd win the fight. My money would be on
100%.
Really?
Win the fight. Yeah, Boogie's
Wings is
older,
younger, and Boogie
fatter.
also has reached a higher level of fat before, and like damage from being fat that long. And even if Wings was like, "Let's do it," you know, throw me and Boogie in a fucking shipping container and get us to Europe. Like, even if it's all good, I really doubt Boogie could like maybe stand and like move around long enough to actually do a like.
I've hit mitts.
I don't think
Wings.
he can.
I hit
Wings could. Wings is younger,
know,
but Boogie, there's just no way.
I want to see good fights. I don't want to see sad fights, and that's the fine line that we're walking here.
That.
Because because the content creator fights all suck. They're not even fun to watch because somebody is like gassed by the first round, 5 minutes in.
Harley,
we can dress him up in something like
that's pretty cool.
I hear you, but I'm interested in. I hate to call it freak fights, but that's what they would call it in the UFC. You know, if they get a really big guy or whatever. And I'm not above it. If Wings were to fight Boogie, I would be captivated.
I would watch a highlight later after the fact.
I would.
I think I would.
One round, 2 minutes gone, and then there's just...
I would watch a live stream of it.
Fighting! Sitting in the left corner. Fighting, and we don't know how heavy because the veterinary office near us closed early.
Wow.
With 1 foot on each scale.
Wow. So, yes, the rumors are true. Boogie and Wings.
A combined
May of 2020.
Dying in the right corner.
May of 2020. This is the one thing I kind of like. When I hear about fights, typically, like in the UFC or something, shit, it feels like it's 4 months away, 6 months away. Like, when is Conor fighting Chandler? That's a good one.
In the fall. It has to be the fall.
In the fall.
Because they're real fighters that have to get
and the
prepped.
filming of Tough.
Okay, I get that. It has to be. I'm not challenging that. Yeah. But as a fan, I don't like it. I don't like hearing about
Tough's
a fight.
Filming schedule was already set, so it's like, you know, ducks are in a row. It
feels like that happens a lot. Like, oh, okay, champion just fought. Now challenger's gonna get a shot. When? 6 months. If it goes well, maybe 9 months. Maybe he's a new champ, and suddenly he's gonna sit on that fucking belt for a year before he defends it. That happens so much. But this Wings fight, they're like, 2 months from now, let's go.
Again,
cool.
Real
That's
fighters
how Jake
versus
Paul just
not
did
real
with
fighters.
that Tommy Fury thing. The Jake Paul this fight was a month announcement. He was like, next month we're fighting. I was like, oh shit, nice. I like
Jake Paul is a businessman. Jake Paul, like he's a promoter. He does it so well. I think it was smart to do that.
No, I would love it if Wings fought that guy, but I just do not think it'll happen. You know, like I won't do a whole beat up Wings thing because I hope he's doing well these days, but he won't do this, and he's probably better off not doing it.
Here's what I think. Hypothetically, Wings does it. He makes I hear $100,000. He wins, and he grows as a man. That's how I think it would go down if Wings stepped up to this.
I don't think he should grow anymore.
I think he's all done.
No, that's how I think it happens.
I can see that, but I also
do it for the.
He'll do a second fight if he wins. That's what he's saying.
Kyle, you were mentioning before the show that Only Use Me Blade is doing really, really well.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually thought you were serious for a second. I was like,
Billy Tucker is not on the show enough.
I was just thinking about this dude today.
You're adorable.
Well, let me hear.
Anytime we talk about Blade, I like to preface the conversation by saying, Blade, if you hear this, I'll never forget when you pull those blunts out of your pocket that you rolled right through airport security with to Seattle
in his camera bag.
In his pocket, right?
Oh, he brought him in his camera bag to PAX East, so I guess he was getting better.
Yeah, this was fucking Seattle. This was West.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, never gave a fuck. Always had weed on our trips. Always offered it freely. Always very funny. Always drinking, boisterous. He was the drunk, loud guy, but never the drunk, loud bully guy. Okay.
Can I tell my Blade story real quick? It's in line with what you're saying. We're there. We're at this dinner. There's like 16 people at the table, right? And Blade is like hitting shots, and the waitress goes up to him and she's like, "Your bill's like $85, for his drinks." And he goes, one more. And it was just so fucking baller to me. Like anyone else would have been like, "What did I do?" He's like, one short, huh? And he had just one more shot and called it good. And
that's when he got shithoused at like PF Chang's, wasn't it? We were at PF Chang's and he was fucking tanked sitting there.
Was this
you were there?
East? Yeah. No, the one where we were at the skating rink. And
you were there.
The guy.
That's the night.
It's fucking 1 a.m. and we're walking through a skating rink area and there's like a woman and her baby and she like is pushing her child and like it hits on Blade and Blade's like, "Oh, we should go back. You should come back to our hotel room or something like that." I was like, okay, well, I'm 18 years old. I would like to go to my hotel room.
I was fucking 25. I was down.
So, Kyle, I interrupted. You were saying kind things about Blade before the takedown.
Yeah. Like every No. I like it. It kind of speaks to Blade's personality. He was always the loud, drunk, friendly guy and he wasn't always loud and drunk. He just kind of got that way toward the end of the night. Beginning of the night he was always real chill and like
amazingly cool.
He's like, you just act like you belong and they let you through here. Like anyway, man, I always hate when I see clips of him. It's one of those I don't want to look kind of things.
Yeah, it's
I know he's always I'm not his friend or anything to like call him or like tell him what to do. But every time I see him, he looks worse. He'll look. Sometimes I'll see him and he'll look jaundiced, like maybe something's wrong with his liver, even, or maybe and he drinks so much. And they always show those pictures of his toe, and his toe looks infected or rotten or gangrenous or something. And then I hear, you see him do all kinds of crazy shit. There'll be rape allegations and
what the fuck.
Yeah. It's a wild ride because for a long time he's been living on
sexual assault thing.
Maybe you don't know, but like he sort of spun off of Ice Poseidon's.
The last thing I remember about him was he shoved his finger up his ass on stream.
So far, he had it together. He had it together.
That's when he had it together.
Yeah,
Lord,
he's a respectable member of society.
He was indoors.
No wonder.
He was indoors, and it was a
dress.
He was standing on a real floor.
I'm like,
Tucker, he had an address in those days. So Ice Poseidon was doing the thing where he streamed from the camper. They found that like, oh shit, people love to see us rolling down the road, being jackasses, and going to locations and whatever. And so look, I don't follow Blake carefully enough to know the ins and outs of it, but what it seems to me is he lives in a camper now with a bunch of people who are abusive to him. and he passes out every night, and then they abuse him in various ways. They're like, it's kind of funny, but they spray painted his face like Pepe the Frog, so he wakes up like with his face spray painted, like
with like actual paint.
Yeah, with like Krylon, like they piss on him while he's asleep. They beat the shit out of him.
If you haven't,
there's been multiple allegations. I don't want to go
there was a video that we watched. This is a couple of years ago now, I believe. But when he was on the Ice Poseidon RV, there was a time, and Kyle, jump in if I'm wrong, that the camera kind of showing the back lane from the front, showing like the table and the microwave and back into the back room of the Winnebago or whatever. And at one point he got up and there was a girl like sleeping, resting in the back. And he like went over there and like got under the covers with her. And there was like movement and not adjusting and getting comfortable for slumber movement, like movement.
I've always heard that it was something about,
and she said it was sexual assault, right?
Well, that's about cut and dry then,
And it was also on video,
but
which
this
is a pretty
how? I mean, not how, because it's very obvious. So this was years ago. This you're
was
talking about is not.
So his Winnebago life.
How is he still? Is he streaming?
So he streams from inside the camper. Was it Pauly Shore he had on there the other day, or was it was
Andy Dick.
Andy Dick. Remember Andy
Dick?
Andy Dick is another drug addict.
Has fallen to only use me blade levels.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I know. Look it up. Andy Dick and Only Use Me Blade are drunk on an RV together.
What?
If you ever want Andy Dick to like come to your place on a stream and like humiliate himself, he'll do it. The guy who was on the guy who's been in like dozens of movies with actors.
I mean, I recognize him. I know his name.
I'm saying for the audience's benefit, because like I don't know, if you're younger than us, like you might not know who Andy Dick is.
I mean, he was like an old comedian. What the fuck happened? So what? He went over and hung out with Blade in his RV.
Yeah.
Like and they were and Andy Dick was as fucked up as Blade. Like Andy Dick is like slurring, unable to like keep his like head up. He's out. Like
I thought
he's in almost as bad a place as Blade.
I thought Andy Dick was going to be there to laugh at Blade, because he's usually like a quick-witted comedian. Like that's how I've seen him. He's there like looking like he's on methadone or something. They're both like tripping. Like,
dude, I watched
somebody's going to die on that stream,
Dude, someone is
wait, what platform?
So if you go Blades, I just typed in OUMB. Only Use Me Blade, and I guess that's like one of his like dummy channels. There's a stream from 3 days ago called Sunday Funday Jameson Fire Sales. And so he's just getting I mean, I'm not gonna watch his stream, but like, because it's fucking sad. But like, it doesn't seem like there's even the thought of content outside of getting destroyed.
What it reminds me of? Shoe Nice.
Yeah.
So I forgot you guys had a huge, or I think you guys had a
yeah, he called us a lesbian book club. Well, who's laughing now? You're probably dead.
Is he? I mean,
I just see him on TikTok eating glue and shit, to this day.
Oh,
that's
still eating shit.
TikTok is perfect for somebody like him, because like, it works. Like he can eat something in 30 seconds and be just an awful human being. Mm-hmm. It's Kylie Jenner and I think maybe Khloe Kardashian's house. Have you seen them? So they live next door to each other, and they both have like expansive mansions with, you're like, oh my god, it's like an L with like two more like L's attached to it and a pool in the middle. And then there's an arrow and it points to like they kind of share a big concrete drive type area. Since they are neighbors, they just made it all one big thing. That's like nice. This is where the maid lives in this little streamliner. Those little like.
Shiny,
that shiny like metal trailer.
Ones? Yeah.
They don't have like a shed.
Quarters. And I mean, dude, this place has to have a dozen bedrooms in it each.
And you got to assume that they would probably have a working quarters in the house. Like almost all of the houses, I love watching me some house tours. Almost all of the stupid rich house tours are like, and here's where the people who work for you, the cook and everything live. Wait,
this is before it was finished.
It's a shack right here.
So this is long before. So this is a while back. I don't know how.
God, finished, you are so rich, and you still choose to build the ugliest fucking like ranch style. This is like,
you don't like it. It's so many square feet though, because it's so.
I do not like the look of the one on the left. It's
the one on the left is terrifying. It's like a Walmart. It's like a Bass Pro Shop.
The one on the left is Kylie Jenner's. The one on the right. It says it right there.
Oh, Chloe.
Of course it does. The one the right's close. But so
Chris is
because Kris Jenner is Kylie's mother, and for some reason they're attributing it to her. But now Kylie Jenner's a billionaire, so like I think it's probably her fucking house if she wants it.
I can't figure out if I like him or not. A lot of people like they see.
Well, they're not finished. I wish we had
bridges. Oh, they're not finished.
Not in construction. See the pools.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. You can't. They're
building these houses in this photo.
What's so upset? I mean, look, is it okay? Is this what it looks like now? Yeah. Look how why? Look. All right. First, it's just so many angles.
Yeah. Why does the roof look like that?
Like, I'm with you.
You know where you see like an old church and then they add an addition to the church and it's very disjointed. Like that's what the roofs look like.
What I like about the roof as a normal person is like, oh, that's incredibly difficult to maintain. You can't put solar on top of it. Like what part faces south exactly? There's so many fucking right. I'm talking about as a regular person.
Yeah.
When you have a problem with your roof and you're likely to look at how many seams and joints there are, like that's expense. When you need to replace that roof, my goodness, that's like 9 houses' roofs. You know, it's a lot to maintain and pay for. Now they don't have normal person issues like that. So
yeah,
I'm like, let's say that cost is no object. Do I still hate it? It's impractical, but from a design standpoint, it's like you have to show me something better because I don't just knee-jerk hate it.
I'll tell you what I would. If it were me, the billionaire who wanted to live like in that area, I'd really want some sort of like penthouse suite or the whole top floor of a building, like those views that I've seen that apartment in New York. That's like the world's most expensive apartment. Yeah,
like the
is it $100 million, $200 million? It's something.
It's a quarter. I think it's a quarter of $1 billion. It's huge,
dude. It's like Lex Luthor's fucking apartment. You're looking out. You're so high up that you're seeing the whole goddamn city of New York. Not like, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see the east side. No, you go to the other side of your apartment, dude. You can see the entire city like you're in an airplane. And like it's not only that, it's just an incredibly beautiful.
So a quarter. I agree that's amazing, and I think it's really neat, and I think I'd enjoy visiting it for sure. What's it like to live there? If you told me that it took
servants on call
18 minutes to get,
it's not going to take you. No, you're going to have a direct elevator. That shit's going to go straight to your $250 million penthouse upstairs. And it
starts at your car.
25
so you're telling me I don't have to share that elevator? Because like whenever I go high in a building as a peasant, it's a pain in the ass. And I know that when people, so I moved from New Jersey and I just knew people who worked in New York. Dude, they would dedicate the last 15 minutes of their commute to be the front door to the cube. Right?
I didn't even think about that because you have to stop on so many floors for people just to get there and wait for the elevators.
Yeah. But if you live there, do they have a solution for that? Is there like does Trump have his own elevator? He doesn't share with other people.
Well, I think we're conflating height with like traffic, right? If it's a very tall building and each floor is a unit, so we're only talking 40 people. So how many? Right versus like a whole floor of a huge skyscraper is what 1,000 people a floor. Way more in and out. That's the real. It's not.
You're right. Yeah, I was extrapolating what I knew about people who work in big buildings. Like if you worked at the top of the trade centers before they came down, that kind of sucked. Like, dude, it was like 20
problem
minutes.
Solved though. Like you don't have to worry about.
Actually, now you can get to the top of those buildings super fast.
Do you think someone got to work that day and was like, "God, I hate working here.
These buildings are too tall.
I fucking hate every day. There's something with the elevator. How could this day get any worse?" Look out your window at 9:08 in the morning.
At last,
that plane is huge.
So yeah, maybe when you live in a tall building, if you're a VIP, they solve that problem for you. But I just wondered, like, my fucking
you are not
tiny
rubbing
house.
shoulders with potato heads if you spend $250 million on your place.
And the cool thing about that video or one of the ones is that the guy's like, you can see the curvature of the earth and also sound stops carrying past 40 floors in the air. So he's like, everybody just stop talking. It's like, okay, you can't hear any part of New York because you're so fucking high up. Like the helicopters are flying 20 stories below you, around you, so you're looking down at them. And I'm like, I get a little bit of vertigo, but I understand it.
Yeah, it's like gargoyles. That's what I would do. I would get up there on my own little private perch. Because if you're down there, if you take your $12 million mansion, you stick it on a street corner like hers is, Dude, how are you gonna feel when there's a bum out there pissing in your yard and like having to deal with like normies? You don't want to deal with normies if you're gonna spend that kind of money. I don't know.
I at least have a little more fun with it. That looks like the most McMansion like kind of like a bunch. I'm sure that's not their only house that they live in. That's just one of them. So also like Woody, you live in a pretty big house, but you have a pretty big family, or at least you have like uses for it. I mean, 3, but animals.
Yeah, we do have big dogs. That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. But I mean, like
family's got a lot of gumption.
It takes up two people's worth. But like you can imagine a life with a larger home. But that's like a Walmart size 20,000, 50,000 square foot property. Like, what do you do with how do you get furniture and items it's like when you play Sims for the first time and you're like, I'm going to make a big house. And then you're like, well, I put 15 couches in the living room. Like, what's,
It gets to be a pain in the ass. So my house is nowhere near theirs. I hate to compare the two, but I almost want an aerial view of my house to show this, but where our cars are is on one side of the house. And then the farthest point nearly is the master closet. Right. So, okay. And it's not a long walk. It's maybe like a minute and a half or something, like to walk across the house. But when you're ready to go and you need socks, we have an extra basket of socks in the house so that you don't have to walk all the way across the entire fucking house.
Like nomads in the desert. Putting water. Putting
so
water
bougie.
out.
That's great.
I love that.
Cool. So
okay, no wonder you have no problem with it. It looks the same.
Dude,
I mean,
look at
so
this.
elongated.
Yeah, right. So the master closet is the farthest left point in this picture. No,
wow.
He's pointing to the bathroom. Nope. That's where the cars are, where the mouse is, and that's where the closet is. Okay. So to get socks from there is a serious pain in the ass.
You're right. You literally have built the Charlotte airport in your home. This is how I felt when I flew in Wilmington and I'd fly into Charlotte local and have to go across the whole terminal to go to LA in the other side. It's like a mile and a half long. And you're like, this should not be allowed. That's funny though.
Yeah, so we store like certain pieces of clothing.
Dude, sometimes you just want to walk around your house in a straight line 200 yards. Sometimes that's how you just want to walk around your house.
I mean, I see Woody's knees in that photo.
Yeah, I do like that.
Wait, am I?
You're the cameraman.
Yeah, you're the.
I didn't even know that. Can you put it up again? I had no idea.
Your well-sunned thighs.
Yeah. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, that's the paramotor. Just fucking flying around. Yeah. Okay.
Weren't you wondering where this photo came from?
No.
I didn't even question it.
My privacy's so gone. I don't know.
Oh, Kyle's private collection.
I mean, like, where'd you get that, Zach?
Dude, if you look up my house on Google Maps, there's always some business there, like Rape Squad, killing, PKA, whatever. And they just come and go. I don't try to moderate them. It just happens nonstop.
I got this, the new phone.
You got a dope phone, right? It's like $1,000. Am I right about that?
I think they're $900. I don't know. You know what I've noticed? It's dense. It's heavy.
What is it?
It's a Galaxy S23.
Yeah. I like that.
I like it. Okay.
I like the camera placement in that better than the camera placement in this. Is
that an iPhone?
Yeah, this is the 14 thing.
So it's got 3 there. I like in the front because the camera.
You don't have a notch
right in the center. Yeah. On my previous phone, it was kind of over in the side. I don't know. The camera's the coolest thing so far. I've been fucking around with the slow-mo and shit, but I don't know. I got it yesterday. I haven't done too much to it. I needed one though. I always break my phones.
Did you find it hard to switch? Like at this point, I have a camera from like 2 cameras ago. It's broken on the back. That's my off device because moving my shit over is a pain in the ass.
Oh, why? Well, there's an app. So I bet Apple has like super slick ways of doing this.
They do.
But with Android, what I did was there's an app that's called like Transfer, and you put it on both phones and go start, and it goes put your phones near each other and give me 5 minutes, and then it gives you lists of like, hey, do you want everything? Do you want pictures and videos? Do you want apps? Do you want settings and emails? And you customize that. I left the phone sitting here for 5-6 minutes and came back, and it was
Apple has my old phone. Similar, but it brings over the Google Authenticator app empty. And
Well, to transfer the Google Authenticator, just go into your Google Authenticator and click transfer, and then you can just scan a QR code from this phone to that phone, and then confirm that, and then you can do it.
I didn't know you could do that.
Shucks, I wish it. I need to look into it more because I
just hit the 3 little dots in the top right when you're in your Google Authenticator and do it there. I used to have to call Machinima with this printout of every one of my videos that was partnered through them, and go line by line, making sure they had paid me for every fucking view, because he'd be like, we did forget to pay you for 8 million views. Dang. I was like, yeah, I won't go too deep into it, but it's $20,000 or so. It's like, yeah, why don't you fix that? And while you're at it, fix this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's 3 more million, huh? Yep, it adds up, doesn't it? It's like every month, got to go like a fucking account.
Bunch of forgetful fellas over there.
Yeah, how could they
there was
ever
a time
do that?
when like YouTube would tell you how many views you got and how much money you earned, and Machinima would be like, nah, you can't trust that. And it like, why? I have a sneaking suspicion that's what you're getting, and somehow you're taking like a quarter of it or a half of it from me.
Yeah,
for nothing.
Stinkers. That's what I call them.
You guys were on the high level of it. I was at the level of Machinima then of like, are you guys ever gonna upload one of these? Like my Dropbox. If I had the account, I guarantee I could go into my old Dropbox from 2011, and there would be 6 videos.
Anthony Shore Wars, please upload my video. I sent it to you. Yeah, scheduling it, and he'd just be like, "I'm 17. What are you doing?"
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a Woody video, a Kyle video, a Wings video, and then at 1:14 in the morning, I'm gonna put your video out there. And it's like,
and at 1:15, someone else's.
Yeah, and then at 1:15, we have.
I didn't get a lot of those. I maybe got like 5. I got like 5 or 6 up on their channel, something like that, like Call of Duty commentaries.
After they didn't.
I stopped giving them after they didn't take my first FPS Russia video. I sent them like the first ever like me in a shooting range video, and they didn't use that. And
now look at them.
It's like, all right, well, I'm not going to send you anything else. Y'all are bad at things.
Do you remember when they sent us those like intros and outros, and we're like, these must be included on every video? I remember thinking, there is no way anyone at that company even knows who I am. And so I just never added them ever.
But
I never heard about it.
If you're small or medium though, it benefits you because the viewer's like, oh, he's with them. It's like being Optic fucking Taylor. If I click on your video and you're Optic Taylor, I'm like, he's got his bona fides. Fucking Hex already checked him out for me. I know I can watch.
That is true.
That's true, but I wanted to see. And no, nobody noticed. No one was keeping an eye on the nonsense I was uploading.
At that time, they were using me to build other people, and I didn't feel like I was compensated for it. Oftentimes, they'd be like, Woody, I want you to autoplay this other guy's video on your channel. And I'd be like, I'll do it for like a few hours, I guess, just to be a team player.
Yeah.
But you're like straight up taking money from me and giving it to you to promote someone, like pay me for it.
No, Woody, this spring, all of spring, you have to have the Halo video featured on your channel. Think of the millions of views you don't get.
It was an easily determined amount of money that they were taking from you, because you could look at how many page views you get per day, and those are being applied to whatever video you're auto playing. And I was always kind of strategic about what you put there. It's like, no fucking way in hell I'm doing that. If I'm getting like 250,000 page views a day, I'm going to give you $500, $1,000 every day for no, you pay me and you will put your video there. And that's what we did. Like if they paid me, I would put it there. I'm not putting it there for fucking free.
Yeah. Of course.
We don't have a contract that says anything like that.
How's Mr. Sark doing nowadays? Is he like a big time streamer?
He streams
or something else?
He streams.
So he's a content creator. That's the
him. I am going to say yes. Him and APL stream pretty regularly. I don't think that they do it for their full-time job. I'm not really sure what Sark is doing outside of that, but I just know that they do still make content.
He always seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's great. I love that man.
I don't think I've ever spoken to Sark. I just
definitely spoken to him.
I don't think I've ever spoken to him either.
I think I have.
I just knew he like rolled with like CenNanners and Hutch, or I guess the people who actually worked there, like physically.
His co-host.
I think my entire interaction with CenNanners was sitting across from him at a Mellow Mushroom one day.
Was it good?
The food or CenNanners?
The food.
No.
Oh.
Mellow Mushroom's
I
pretty
competed
fun.
against
I always-
CenNanners in a dancing competition and vanquished him like the rest.
Like a loser. How was CenNanners? Was he wonderful? Very nice, or just not
about
your
like
kind of guy?
exactly what you would think, like quiet, soft spoken,
He's exactly
not your cup of tea. You know, we're not going to have a boisterous slap you on the back kind of rant about the guy who just tripped on the way outside the pizza place.
He wouldn't want to riff and joke around and
no, but that's him. You know, it's fine. I had no.
That's
issues
okay.
with
Then
CenNanners.
not everyone has to be friends with everybody else. I just remember I remember how big he was in like 2011, 12, and like trying to watch one of his videos and being like, "Why? This guy's killing it. What's so great about him?" And I remember just like everyone was like, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, CenNanners here," like his like little intro, and I'd get like 3 minutes in, and I'd be like, "There's no jokes. It's not really a story."
So he had two things. He had the best quality on YouTube.
Very
and
likable.
He had
Video quality.
He had and he was very, very good at the game in a slow-paced, sort of calculating kind of way. And he was the only guy playing World at War except for Wings of Redemption.
And he was easy
and
to
then,
like.
And then
He
Minecraft,
never involved
right?
himself in like bullshit. I never
Minecraft
remember
is what like
CenNanners.
blew him up.
No, I strongly disagree with that.
Really?
CenNanners was the king of bullshit, and I still hold a grudge to some extent. He and Hutch. Oh my god, he made videos.
Let's learn.
targeted at fucking hating me. He would say like, I never do daily uploads. I never do. And then he'd like a weekly series. This is just view whoring and trying to make something get big on YouTube. And I'm like, where's the crime here? Where's the crime in having Mail Monday? It's an alliteration. It's fine. Like, what am I doing wrong? He's like, I hate attention grabbing thumbnails. Oh my gosh. And it's like, no, you fucking communist. You work for Machinima on a salary. And that's why you have no interest in growing your channel. The fucking nanosecond that guy went out on his own, daily uploads, attention grabbing, thumbnails, series, shit like that. Like he did all this stuff he shit on people for doing the second he went on his own. And he and Hutch would like make these rules that you were supposed to follow, like don't upload too much, don't try to grow a channel. And they felt like it was evil. But really, they were just jealous because they were on salary, and the people who didn't get jobs at Machinima, it seemed like jobs at Machinima was the ultimate prize, right? That was what you wanted. But it turned out the contractor Machinima, that was what you actually wanted. And once they realized that they made the wrong choice, they just shit on everyone constantly. They did it on Twitter, they did it in their videos. And they would often like talk about me without naming me. And like, I don't know, I fucking hated it.
Well, I did not know about that.
Yeah.
I do recall like people saying back in the day, like when Hutch and CenNanners took the job there, lots of people in the community being like, actually, I think Kyle was the first person I heard say this is such a mistake. I cannot believe they did that. Like, why would they do that for salary? They have all this reach, all this money. And I hadn't really thought about it before that. And I was like, oh my God.
It'd be like,
this is a huge mistake.
I think the one thing that you guys are not understanding is literally any of the people that you're talking about, right? Because like, I'm good friends with all these guys, and none of them are even in the mindset where like, I also agreed at the time. I was like, seems like that would be a mistake. I don't know how much they're paying you, but surely you're going to make more if you kept doing this. Pretty much all of those guys just never, ever wanted to do the daily stuff, even if they had to. And so it's not a question of like they were making the wrong choice. I think it was probably the best choice for all of them, both at the time and looking back at what they're doing now, how that helped them.
Hutch threw away $5 million.
What do you mean? Hutch?
I mean, he was the biggest guy in the Call of Duty commentating community when he made that move.
And then a vast amount of life things happen behind the scenes that you can't understand or put into perspective, right?
Well, sure. That has nothing to do with the decision, though.
The only counter I have to what Kyle is saying is I feel like Hutch was like a 1970s baseball player, right? He was great, but there wasn't that much money to be made in that decade.
Exactly.
You know, when Hutch was king before, I hate to call myself king, but like Hutch's peak was before my peak. And, you know, the kind of money I made they could only dream of before. And then the kind of money people made after me, oh my God, I could only dream of. So I don't know how much Hutch threw away.
But you can't know because he instead of like uploading and growing a channel, he was over there making skits with Sark.
Yeah. Right, which I think was again, I think maybe it's a difference in opinions here because you're looking objectively at what you think a future career path for them could have been given their opportunity. And I'm looking at them from like the perspective of, I know these people very well. I know their decisions, why they made it. I know like to an extent, their work ethic and like where their mindset is now. There's not a shot that I think that Hutch or Nanners or Sark would have ever done the type of daily streaming content routine stuff from then until even now with any level of like consistency. It's just not who they are as people, and that's fine. Like the content that they made at Machinima was way more in line with the
they
the
could have made
best
that
type of content they could make. What
they could have made that
outside of Machinima?
Yeah, imagine. All right, okay,
right.
If I take everything you say as a fact, they just weren't going to work. They didn't like doing that kind of work. They weren't going to make a whole career of it. Well, how about doing everything that they did at Machinima, but on their private channels and collaborating together?
That's it. But again, what Woody is saying is offering a 6 or near 6-figure salary at the time would have infinitely trumped any of the amount of ad revenue that they were getting at the time, because you're thinking about it from when you were doing very well as FPS Russia, which is literally like 3 years after they made the choice.
No, I'm thinking about Hutch's channel getting like 180, 250,000 views of video for like Call of Duty content,
right?
And Modern Warfare 2.
And $1 CPM. This is not new YouTube.
$1.
$1.
You got $1?
Yes, all of us. Machinima guaranteed $2 CPMs.
Woody, did you get $1?
I think it was $2 or $2.50.
Machinima
right
guaranteed.
Dude, I didn't even get $1.
Yeah,
I got $2.
Yeah,
Jericho, Tucker might be going earlier than I'm talking about, though.
No, you're misunderstanding me. Maybe. On his own, without being in the Machinima program or anything, right? Without doing any of that, right? $1 CPM. Machinima was guaranteeing $2 or $2.50 or whatever. That's what I got. That's what everybody got. That was their standard contract. They also were getting that when they were uploading and getting stuff. But their salary, 125,000 views per video, is literally not going to net you $100,000 on a $2.50 CPM. Like, you do the math. Like, what are you talking about? You're going to get like $37,000 or something. So they made the choice then to get triple or double or whatever in a salary, which is way better than having the fluctuation of CPM that we all really still hate, right? And I think like it's like not even worth I still think in my head, yeah, maybe they could have like popped off and done all the content outside of Machinima, but I would have taken the salary too. That was the end goal.
All right.
Was like, I want that money.
Well, the problem is the work ethic then, because like if you're not going to do a video every day, then okay, take salary, because like sounds like maybe you've got some stuff you need to work on if you can't do one a day. When you're making that money, but by the way,
that's the type of YouTuber you want to be. Like,
I'm talking about fucking playing video games and making 6 figures a year. You know, let's make one video a day.
But then
we'll pay an editor.
But why don't you make a video a day though? Right now, like what?
Right now?
Like yeah, like
because I don't remember the password to my goddamn YouTube. Okay, if you can help me with that, I'll make one a day. Every day. Today's the daily thank Tucker for getting me my password. Thanks, Tucker.
Just a 7 million subscriber YouTube account.
Every day. Oh, that's so rough.
What year did Hutch and them start Machinima? Like 2011?
You mean start doing inbox content?
Yes.
They're like 2011, 2012, right?
Okay.
It was whenever I graduated high school.
Could be a hindsight 2020 thing where, we're ascribing a more lucrative situation to the time they took the job than it actually was.
I just remember my paycheck.
Go ahead. I just remember, like, they were big at the time, especially CenNanners.
Yeah, they were huge.
While they were at Machinima, like, I just remember his Minecraft videos. I just remember how many views they were getting. It was crazy stuff, like 200,000 to 500,000, 800,000. It's like You got 800,000 playing that fucking building block game.
He was one of the first Minecraft YouTubers.
To me, he is the first. Like maybe there was some little guy somewhere, but I've never cared for Minecraft. Like
goes the
not
other
my
way?
thing. I think it's
maybe
weird.
I should be thanking CenNanners. It just put it together. How big would Minecraft have been if it wasn't for CenNanners, right? Maybe Minecraft would have just been another indie game you've never heard of. Maybe CenNanners bought this house for me by popularizing Minecraft and creating.
No, Notch bought that house.
No. Yeah, Notch bought that house.
Yeah.